Hello, my name is Ray Trucksess. I'm with Jane Building Products in NuCedar. Today we're going to talk about the NuCedar product line. NuCedar is a milled PVC siding product. It was founded in 2006. Founder of the company had worked for clear trim boards for 20 plus years and was fascinated by the performance of PVC in trims, moldings, and millwork, and was wondering why we can't wrap the full exterior envelope of a building in it. So we successfully were able to do that in 2008. In 2006. In 2008, NuCedar launched its R&R shingles and our vertical profiles. And today, almost everyone in the industry knows NuCedar's products for its pre-finished replicated look of a traditional R&R re-squared, rebutted cedar shingle. We do everything we do in our family of products at NuCedar is pre-finished with a solar reflective oven baked coating process. Has a 25-year warranty on the finish and the core of the material. That is a transferable warranty. So if the owners live in the house for 10 years and they sell it, the next homeowners will have 15 years of that warranty on the finish and the core of the material on their home. That warranty is against chipping, peeling, flaking, and cracking of the coating, which is baked into the substrate of the PVC, and will also ensure that the product will never delaminate or deteriorate while it's on the wall. We do a full family of trims, sheet goods, and moldings as well in 14 standard colors for the siding and 16 standard colors for the trim. So most folks today identify the NuCedar product with the shingles. We offer the shingles in a 13-inch shingle for a 5-inch exposure at the greatest. We also have an 18-inch shingle for a 7-inch exposure at the greatest. The 18s can be installed at a 5.5 or a 7-inch exposure, but those are the only two exposures that this product can be installed at. We have a 13 for a 5-inch exposure if someone's trying to replicate a more traditional cedar look. The shingles are sold by the quarter square at their max exposure. So the 13s at a 5, 4 boxes to a square, or the 18s to a 7-inch exposure, 4 boxes to a square. There's 5 different widths to a box, and so the 13s will have 4 through 8-inch widths, and the 18s will have 5 through 9-inch widths in your box. The beautiful thing about the NuCedar shingles is they install almost identical to a cedar equivalent. The other unique thing to the NuCedar shingle product and all of NuCedar's products is the products are milled. So because we're milling PVC sheet goods and PVC cuts the same as traditional cedar, we can utilize the same capabilities found in a modern cedar mill to mill PVC into the same historical and architectural profiles that you would find in cedar. So you're not compromising aesthetics by going to a maintenance-free product. The NuCedar shingles come in one texture only, in our patented rough sawn texture, which is really unique to this product. Because every shingle is individually brushed out, you're going to see a variegated look from one shingle to the next on the wall. So within each color, you're going to see a large variation of colors with it, or different color tones within that color that's selected. So you can see on my screen here the Argo shingles, and every shingle is a little unique to themselves, like a snowflake or a fingerprint, based on how deep it is brushed out with that rough sawn texture. And then when it goes through the 5-part coating process and oven bake process, more coating is building up in those deeper grooves of that rough sawn texture than where the lighter brushing is going to have a little lighter tone to it. So that's what's giving you that natural quilting effect when putting up the NuCedar shingles. The other beautiful thing is it's very little to no learning curve to install the NuCedar shingle product. It installs identical to a cedar equivalent anyone who is acclimated to installing cedar shingles will install to the same basic principles. They will rip the shingles in half, using the top half of the shingle as a starter strip, using the bottom half as a fill-in when they get to the top of the wall. They could also choose to run a full course of shingles as a starter strip. What's pretty critical is placement of the fastener with this product. So traditional cedar is typically shot about an inch up from the overlapping butt of the shingle above it. So on this darker shingle, you'd be shooting it about an inch up to an inch and a half up. NuCedar can only be shot or fastened a ½ inch up from the desired exposure. So on a 7-inch exposure, you would be putting your fasteners exactly a ½ inch blind nailed up from the overlapping butt on this darker shingle under this green shingle. You can use stainless steel ring shank nails, stainless steel staples, 2 fasteners per shingles, except the shingles that exceed 6 inches, the 7s, the 8s, and the 9s, will get an additional fastener in the middle. So you're running, again, if this was a 7-inch exposure, your fasteners would be laying at 7.5 inches all day. Or for the 13s at a 5-inch exposure, 5.5 inches all day. Putting the fasteners at least 1 inch in from the edges of the shingles will prevent the shingles from cracking. And you know, either a staple or a stainless steel ring shank is recommended to be used for this installation. It's critical that they're fastening to that ½ inch exposure in order to get the 200-mile-an-hour wind load rating that you get with the NuCedar products. So we've put this in a lot of coastal markets and have never lost a shingle during a hurricane. The other nice thing with the NuCedar shingle product is it's a true thick shingle. It's not hollow back like a vinyl shingle, and you can cut it with standard woodworking tools. So it's not going to be brittle like cement where it can break if you're trying to manipulate it like wood. So you can easily achieve a woven corner by stacking every other shingle against one another and alternating each course. The NuCedar shingles are finished on the face, the edges, and the butts of the shingles. So it is not colored all the way through. When ripping the product, you will see that it has its white core of the PVC. So for every 24 boxes that you will get from Garden State Lumber, you will see that there is a 4-ounce touch-up in there, and there's an applicator to apply that touch-up. And you're only touching up for aesthetic reasons. So when you're alternating every other course on a woven corner, you'll touch up every other course, and every other course will be ripped down to its white core and then touched up in the field. So you'll have a factory edge on every other course and touching up the alternate courses. The other nice thing with this product is it's a caulkless system. You can run it right tight into a trim board, and typically what's done in the field is it's backflashed with some clear silicone such as Geosil or Lexan when butting tight into a trim board. So no need to leave a gap for caulk and have to come back and re-caulk again, or an area for mold or mildew to build up over time. It's just butted right tight into a trim board. The NuCedar product can also be run right to grade, can be run right to a deck, direct contact with masonry, and can be installed to a 1/4 inch of a roof line. So the challenge with installing the shingles to what we consider at NuCedar hotspot areas, areas of high concentration of heat. The hotspot areas, the shingles will be fastened as well as adhered, where they're tying into roof lines, composite decks, metal flashing, blacktops, anywhere you're getting a tremendous amount of heat that can build up on the shingle, because the butts of the shingles with that excessive heat will want to lift and curl up. So in order to prevent that, you will order tubes of Fill and Flex adhesive, which is stocked by Garden State Lumber. The Fill and Flex are 300 milliliter tubes. One tube will adhere up to a full square of material, and you will apply a dime-sized dollop to the back two corners of the shingles, 1 inch in from the edges of the shingles and 1 inch up from the butts, to prevent the shingles from lifting. So it's only used in the hotspot areas in the first 4 courses. If you see this photograph behind, you'll see this on the top right side of your screen, you'll see this dormer. That dormer tying into a metal roof would be a great example of a hotspot area where they would fasten and adhere all those shingles, because that metal roof is going to cause the shingles to get extremely hot, and it could cause the shingles to lift and curl. So you're not gluing every shingle on a wall. You're not gluing shingles that are on a southwestern exposure. It doesn't matter if one side of the building gets more sun exposure than another. This product has a solar reflective coating on it, which will allow it to fade and perform uniformly the same. So you're not going to see, like with traditional cedar, one side of the building fading at a faster rate than another. NuCedar is more competing with traditional cedar when it comes to price point. The other nice thing with this product is it does not need to be installed on top of a cedar breather. So you cannot install our shingle on top of a cedar breather. A drainable house wrap is preferred, but NuCedar, we don't monopolize a house wrap. So you can install it on top of, just as long as it complies with local building practices and is flashed properly. You know, a standard tie back, a 30-pound felt. I've seen it installed on top of zip walls. I've also seen it installed on top of, you know, products such as Blueskin, Hydrogap by Benjamin Obdyke, as well as DuPont drain wrap. So there's lots of different products that you can put behind it to ensure that the product will stand the test of time. And we're happy to give you recommendations, but there is no requirement for a house wrap. But again, you cannot install this on top of a cedar breather. The reason behind that is the cedar breather will pack out the shingles too far behind the product, and when the fasteners are driving down to the sheathing, can cause the butts of the shingles to want to lift and curl. So it's critical you're not installing on top of a cedar breather. The other nice thing with the NuCedar product is it can be easily manipulated in the field. So you can flex it to get a traditional flare or sweep, and build out those woven corners. You can apply heat to it to get it to conform to a radius on a wall, or to get it to conform to a flare. The beautiful thing about PVC is it has no memory. So once you get it to where you want it to go, it's going to stay that way indefinitely. These tubes of Fill and Flex are the only thing that's not included in the order. However, one tube will adhere up to a full square of material. And if you want to contact NuCedar and get myself or another rep's contact information, we'd be happy to highlight the hotspot areas for you, and if time permits, walk your job site and point them out. So pretty simple. It installs like a cedar equivalent. You're going to space your keyways 1/8 of an inch. You're going to offset your keyways by 1 1/4 inches, only pulling from that one box at a time to get that variegated look and the natural quilting effect of the NuCedar. When you get to the top of the wall, you will be the only spot you will actually fasten and face nail the shingle with the last course that's running up into the freeze board. But you don't need to worry about this product expanding and contracting on the wall. It's an individual tapered PVC shingle, and we put a solar reflective coating that will reduce the core temperature of the product by 30 to 50 degrees. You can also get additional touch-up paint by the pint, the quart, or the gallon as needed. And all 14 standard colors in the 13 and 18-inch shingles are in stock in Garden State Lumber in both New Jersey and South Carolina. So you can get what you need quickly in those 14 colors. We also can do custom colors. Custom colors are based on the light reflective value on the finish, or LRV. Every paint manufacturer will have a light reflective value and a color code, a color name, and a number on their LRV. So the darker the color, the lower the number will be on that LRV. in order to back NuCedar with a 25-year warranty, we will not produce any colors with our 25-year warranty if it has a light reflective value of less than 20. So you can fish in colors as dark as the Quiver Tan, which is our darkest standard color for siding. If you would like a custom color, you can just place an order for a purchase order with that color code, that color name with Garden State Lumber. We will produce a 2x2 board in the custom color that you choose for $50, and we will order the paint and produce it on a 2x2 display. And once you approve, we can order the paint and produce the material. So you're looking at roughly, after that sign-off process, about a 4 to 5 week lead time for custom colors. And there is a limitation based on that light reflective value if you want the NuCedar warranty. We also have clients who just want what they want and they don't care if it has a warranty behind it. So we can produce material for them as well if they'd like it in a darker color than a light reflective value of 20. We also offer fancy cut shingles. Fancy cut shingles are available by the eighth of a square. They're in a 13-inch shingle for a 5-inch exposure, 18-inch shingle for a 5.5 or 7-inch exposure. They come in 5-inch widths, and there's 8 different shapes that you can get the fancy cuts in all 14 standard colors or custom. The fancy cuts are not in stock. They are milled per order. In standard colors, you're looking at about 10 business days to ship them. So keep that in mind that they aren't in stock, but no longer need to make these in the field. For a number of years, people were actually cutting these on a jig in the field and then touching them up. So, very labor intensive and no need to do that anymore. These are available by the eighth of a square. And so there's 8 boxes to a square at that max exposure, 13 at a 5-inch exposure or 18 at a 7-inch exposure. And again, it's only available in that rough sawn texture. You can see here is NuCedar in our newest color, our newest standard color, which is whole wheat, in fancy cuts with dog ears and diamonds. And this color has a very semi-transparent bleach stain look to it. A lot of NuCedar's core colors are going to represent cedar in different stages of the weathering process. So you'll see a lot of grays, a lot of earthy tones. And then, of course, we have our greens, our blues, and colors such as that. Here you can see the fancy cuts in super white up in the gables on these dormers. So, for those accent areas or these areas that architects are putting these in their plans, we can accommodate them. Here you can see the fancy cuts in the Argo shingles in rough sawn in the diamonds. And, the NuCedar shingles, are true to history with the innovation of PVC and a solar reflective coating that, is not compromising aesthetics for maintenance free. You can see here on the 2013 HGTV Dream House, this is in Royal Indigo in Kiowa Island outside Charleston. Royal Indigo or Indigo Park, sorry. Royal Indigo is the builder. Indigo Park is a full LEED Platinum development. There's 18 homes with NuCedar. Here, this is in our 13-inch Svelte shingle at a 5-inch exposure. You can see it here with woven corners. That dormer up top would be a great example of where they would be use the Fill & Flex adhesive. It's a hot spot area. It's going to get tremendously hot, tying into that metal roof in the South Carolina sun. They also used our pre-finished trim boards throughout the carports here. So another nice thing that they do a lot in that market. We have here worldly gray shingles at a 13-inch shingle at a 5-inch exposure, done in elliptical arches and woven corners. This home was on the cover of Charleston Home Design Magazine in 2017, spring and summer. They also used the worldly gray smooth trim boards throughout the carport. This is more one of our more popular selling gray colors. And as I mentioned, it's capturing cedar in different stages of the weathering process. But, true to the, traditional installs, which is what's so great about this product. I have been working in coastal building products personally for 15 years. I've seen here in the Outer Banks some of the really nicest products fail here and here only. I used to represent a shutter product that had black powder coated marine grade stainless steel hardware that rusted out on the north side of the Outer Banks and nowhere else in the world. So if something bad's going to happen to a product, it's going to happen out here. Nor the Outer Banks or in Barrier Islands are a sitting duck for hurricanes, nor'easter storms, sandblasting that is extremely intense from October through March each year. And the two homes that were built on either side of this NuCedar home, which was the first one we did in the Outer Banks in 2008, were done in pre-finished fiber cement panels. And just after 6 years, the sandblasting ate through the fiber cement to the felt paper on the north sidewall. The NuCedar, continues to weather the storms of the sandblasting, the hurricanes that it's been through. Here it is after 8 years. You can see the lattice on the front of the building that was brand new in the previous picture. Here after 8 years is really at the end of its life cycle, and they need to do something to it. And I took some reps here to take pictures of it and show them what this product looks like after 10 years. And you can see after 10 years in this market, it's actually the solidity that's in the air, the sandblasting is actually embedding itself into that rough sawn texture of the NuCedar shingles. And it's actually will patina and weather as it sits in a coastal market. It's not, we hate the word fade with this product. It's a dirty word. We don't use it. This product will actually weather and get darker. So everything that you put outside will fade. It's measured in delta units, and 3 delta units over a 10-year time frame will be what it takes for you to see it, the slightest bit of fade to the naked eye. We've done third-party studies on NuCedar, and it's fading less than 1 delta unit. So pretty impressive that you can put in the harshest coastal market in the United States and have no issues with maintenance. And again, you have high solidity in the air, high UV, sandblasting, hurricanes, and nor'easter storms, and no issues. So, and the unlimited possibilities and working with this product, it really leads to that skilled craftsperson to be able to show off their craft and do things like waves in the gables, like you're seeing here in our Argo shingles, eyebrows here in our Cedar shingles, our 18-inch shingle at a 7-inch exposure. I always send homeowners to this house here in the Delaware Beaches and get the same response. They call me and they say, "Ray, why'd you send me to a cedar house?" And I said, "No, that's NuCedar. If you have to smell it to tell whether it's real or not, then it passed the aesthetic test." And you can say that with conviction with this product all day. So here you can see in Argo shingles with the eyebrows, this job was done up in the Kiowee Reserve outside Clemson. This is the only exception to the rule where they're using more fill and flex adhesive than in the first 4 courses. So the fill and flex, this was above a copper roof, so they had to use the fill and flex on every shingle and fasten it here, because in these gables, that copper, before it will patina, is going to put off a tremendous amount of heat up onto that sidewall. So they were fastening and adhering every single shingle. So above a copper roof is the only exception. Again, you can reach out to myself or some of the other NuCedar representatives to help you identify the hot spots. Send us a set of plans, we'll highlight them, and we'll talk to your contractors about how to apply the fill and flex and where to apply the fill and flex. Here you can see our Aleutian Blue shingles. This was a home that was done in Rehoboth Beach. And in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, they had a big turret in the front, and they were able to apply heat blankets to the shingles to get them to lay down to the radius on that wall without having to, with like traditional cedar, just run short shingles to achieve that look. So they were able to work around that turret and manipulate the shingles with heat. Again, PVC has no memory, so once you get it to where you want it to go, it's there for life. And here you can see the Aleutian Blue 18-inch shingles installed at a 7-inch exposure, and a lot of cookie cutter detail on this home. And because Garden State had taken a full stock in the line in 2017, and with the awareness that they have created for NuCedar, having all 14 colors on the ground in a 13-inch and 18-inch shingle, folks today are looking at the NuCedar products, full family of products, more than ever before. So here in markets like Long Beach Island, New Jersey, where we've been selling NuCedar for about a decade into this market, there's a large acceptance of this product and the aesthetic look that it has. So builders and architects are now selling it to the homeowners. Like, why would you not do the full family of products on your home? Why would you want to have a 25-year warranty on your shingles, but then still have to paint your trim, still have to paint your vertical siding? So here on this house, they used our super white shingles with our super white smooth trim, and then our Argos modern shiplap in a 6-inch face with an 1/8 of an inch gap in our Argos color in a rough sawn texture. See it here, used here, and then this accent up top. Also, all the edge and center bead product in the porch ceilings, the full family of exterior products other than the stone is all NuCedar. And this is oceanfront in Beach Haven, New Jersey. So, they don't want to have any issues with maintenance. They just want the rich aesthetics of traditional cedar, but without the maintenance, and that's what they get with this product. So this job was in Ocean City, New Jersey. They used basket beige in our rough sawn texture for the board and batten. Also the basket beige shingles, basket beige smooth beadboard for their soffits, and then all the smooth basket beige trim and moldings on all their rakes and fascias along the whole building. They also took our pre-finished sheet goods in basket beige and created storage boxes on the side of the building for beach chairs and surfboards and things of that nature. So the full exterior envelope of this home in Ocean City, New Jersey, has a 25-year warranty on it. So pretty important. And you get what you pay for in life. So this was a wall that we had built in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, at Woodhaven Lumber, and the wall had gone up with pre-finished fiber cement, pre-finished white cedar, and then NuCedar's shingle products in 2 colors back in 2012, right after Hurricane Sandy. 7 years later, you can see with just that harsh market with a lot of nor'eastern storms and solidity in the air and high UV, what's happened to the cement? Well, the cement's pretty repetitive. It needs to be repainted. It's very flat and dull looking. The pre-finished white cedar, again, some shingles need to be replaced. It needs to be repainted. And the NuCedar product has no issues with the coating. Has been up for almost 10 years and is still performing great. So you get what you pay for. The bottom line is, when you're comparing the NuCedar shingles to traditional cedar, you're maintaining a cedar shingle every 3 to 5 years in a coastal market, every 5 to 8 years in a non-coastal market. The bottom line is, even if you're doing the bare minimum to restain and repaint your cedar shingles every 8 years, you're still painting and restaining it 3 times in the life cycle. You haven't touched the NuCedar product once. So the value proposition of the NuCedar is that it's maintenance free. You don't have to keep maintaining it, and it will remain and hold its variegated and natural quilting effect, where the more you paint and stain traditional cedar, it gets flat, it gets dull, and you just have to continue to sand down and maintain and repaint. So a lot of upkeep. The NuCedar products also meet a Class A fire rating, meaning it'll self-extinguish when the flame source is removed. So another unique thing that you will not get out of traditional cedar. Not to mention, it's impervious to insect manifestation, wood rot, all the other things that you would run in comparing it to cedar. We offer vertical profiles in smooth and rough sawn textures. The verticals are milled from 5/8 thick material. We have standard 16-foot lengths. So you have a board and batten system where you have an individual board and an individual batten. It's not a panel. Here you can see it in basket beige in the smooth texture. The boards are going to be gapped 1/4 inch. They're 9 1/4 inch boards. And then you're running a 2-inch by 3/4 inch batten strip on top. The idea is that we introduced a screw and plug system with PVC back in 2012. For the longest time, manufacturers of PVC were telling folks in the field, well, you put your boards together, you nail, you putty, and you touch up. Well, the problem with that is when you go through swings of temperature, when PVC goes through a 100-degree temperature swing, 16-foot board can move as 1/4 inch in each direction. That's a lot of movement. So nail heads pop, gaps separate, boards buckle, and you have issues. With a screw and plug system, you're going into the meat of the PVC with a stainless steel screw. You're going into the meat of the substrate behind it, and you're aggressively fastening it based on the profile selected enough that it's alleviating that movement. We also make color match plugs. We make those in-house. So if you are getting, the basket beige and board and batten, and you're getting it in smooth, we're going to produce smooth basket beige plugs. Those plugs need to be fastened with a acrylic hammer or rubber mallet. You can't just hit it with a traditional hammer. It will damage the coating and the texture on the plug. And if you have it in a rough sawn texture, then you want to make sure that you are making sure that that grain is running the same way on the plug, or else they're going to stand out like polka dots. So with the board and batten, we have 2 sets of screws that come in that system. It's all included in your price from Garden State Lumber. So you will have a 2-inch screw to fasten your boards. You will have a 2 3/4 inch screw for your battens. We also have a tongue and groove product. The tongue and groove is to be utilized in porch ceilings, in soffit applications. We make it in 2 different profiles, in a 5-inch face and a 6 3/4 inch face. We have it in smooth and rough sawn textures, available in 16-foot lengths as standard lengths. And all the vertical profiles are also available in 8s, 10s, and 12-footers, as well as 16s. So if you're doing a pretty accurate takeoff, you can find that you have less than a 20% scrap ratio with our vertical products. We also have a channel rustic profile, comes in a 4-inch face or a 5 3/4 inch face, smooth and rough sawn textures. You can run these products vertically, you can run it horizontally, as long as you're following the fastening schedule. Again, the drill bits, the stainless steel screws, the plugs are all included in this system. So whether you're getting one board or you're getting a full job lot, you're going to find all the fasteners are included. We have a new modern shiplap profile that we added to the line. The modern shiplap is available in a smooth and rough sawn texture. You will call out what size face you want, 4, 6, 8, or 10-inch face. You will call what size gap you want, a flush 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch, or 1/2 inch gap, and then one of our 14 standard colors in smooth and rough sawn texture. Again, all the screws and plugs are included in this system. You can see it here when you put the 2 pieces together. This is an 1/8 of an inch gap, a 6-inch face. So you can see when you put the 2 pieces together, you get that 1/8 of an inch gap consistent all day. Where a lot of the times in the past where people were trying to achieve this look with our tongue and groove, they were having to set that gap consistently and have a storyboard to do so, to keep that gap consistent from one board to the next. So this really just saves a step for the installer. Also gives a watertight, you know, flush finish when putting the boards together. It can be run horizontally or it can be run vertically. It's just imperative they follow the fastening schedule. If you have runs and you're running it horizontally that exceed 16 feet, you're going to have scarf joints. You're not going to butt the two boards together. You will simply scarf the boards together with a 45-degree cut. Depending on the temperature outside will determine how large of a gap you're going to leave in that scarf joint. If it is less than 30 degrees, you're going to leave at least an 1/8 of an inch gap. 1/16 of an inch gap if you're between 30 and 50 degrees, and above 70 degrees, you're pretty much running a 32nd of an inch gap. If that, you can pretty much put the boards flush together. We have a fill and flex adhesive that I mentioned with the shingles. It's to be utilized in the scarf joints only, and that's only really to prevent moisture from getting back into that joint. So you can use fill and flex in that joint. It's paintable. We supply the touch-up kit for every 6 squares. There's 4 ounces of touch-up. There's an applicator to apply it. Just another thing that you can use. And all the screws, plugs, drill bits are included in this system. So no need to order anything additional. You can do the vertical sidings in custom colors as well. Custom color protocol is the same. You will send Garden State Lumber a purchase order with the color name and color code, and as long as the LRV is 20 or higher, we can produce it with our 25-year transferable warranty. You could also send us a color that you want matched on a piece of flat surface of wood or PVC, and we can match any color that way as well. But keep in mind the vertical system is available in smooth and rough sawn textures. Does great for renovations for those homeowners that have had existing cedar all over their house and are not willing to compromise the aesthetics to go to a fiber cement, a vinyl product. The NuCedar product will give them the aesthetic look of their traditional cedar, but also take care of their maintenance issues. So traditional, you know, cedar homes have lots of wood rot, woodpeckers, insect manifestation, and you can see here, this was they used our channel rustic in our cedar color in a 4-inch face in the rough sawn texture to replace the existing cedar. And you keep in mind that the rough sawn texture, like our shingle, will have a little bit of variation from each board, just like the shingle. Now, you're not going to see as much variation as you will with the shingle, but you will see some lighter and darker tones within that color. So if you're looking for a very consistent color, you want to order smooth with the verticals. And here you can see the board and batten in smooth, super white, as opposed to that previous slide where you saw it in rough sawn and quiver tan. Here you can see our modern shiplap in a 4-inch face, 1/8 of an inch gap in the color basket beige, and you can see the variation that it has from one board to the next. The vertical profiles, they can manipulate corners in the field and stack them like you would a woven corner with our shingles, or we have pre-finished corner boards that you can get in 3 different textures. They come in 20 footers standard. You can also get them with a J pocket on them if you would prefer that as well. And they come in smooth, rough sawn, and embossed wood grain textures. We typically will see, you know, different textures run with like a rough sawn texture run with a contrast color and a different texture as well for the trim to really make the trim stand proud and pop against the siding. So, you know, we do a full family of pre-finished trims that you can get the NuCedar products in 16 standard colors, and a great way to offer a full exterior envelope with a 25-year warranty with those trim products. And here you can see the modern shiplap in a 6-inch face, 1/8 of an inch gap in quiver tan rough sawn texture on the left and basket beige rough sawn texture on the right. Run horizontally with mitered corners. Really has a modern contemporary look. And for someone who's looking for that more modern contemporary product, we've been doing townhomes with this, hospitality, commercial applications, and your high-end modern contemporary residential application. So there's lots and lots of different areas where you can use the NuCedar modern shiplap. Here you can see the modern shiplap in two colors, worldly gray and intellectual gray. Worldly gray is the lighter of the two, done in a 6-inch face with an 1/8 of an inch gap in a rough sawn texture. This is in Long Beach Island, New Jersey, oceanfront, and run vertically. Here you can see the modern shiplap in smooth versus the rough sawn texture. So they did two colors here, and you can see how the boards are consistent from one color to the next. They used an 8-inch profile with an 1/8 of an inch gap in the super white, and then a custom colored gray on the bottom side of this building, this office building. So, if someone's looking for smooth, it's going to be more consistent, where the rough sawn is going to have that variation. We also have a bead board and an edge and center bead board, and you can select which side you want painted. So you could also have the V groove side painted, like you're seeing here on this application in this photo, and it can be done in a smooth or rough sawn texture. Here it's done in smooth and a custom color with a V groove, and they replaced out all their existing window trim, corner boards, water tables, soffit material, fascias. All the trim is all done in NuCedar's pre-finished products. So here you can see the V groove in basket beige smooth and a soffit application. And here's another renovation where the homeowners had existing cedar and they wanted to keep that same aesthetic look, but without any maintenance issues moving forward. So they used our 18-inch cedar shingles at a 7-inch exposure, and our channel rustic with a 4-inch face and a rough sawn texture in that cedar color as well. Here you can see the channel rustic in a basket beige rough sawn texture in a 4-inch face, and tied in with a smooth NuCedar trim board in the cedar color. We're seeing tons of the tongue and groove. A lot of the homes that I'm in coastal markets will have mahogany, cypress, teak porch ceilings, and accent walls. It becomes one of the only areas of the home where they have lots of maintenance issues. So we have a tongue and groove product that can be used in a tongue and groove in the porch ceilings. So you can see here in the cedar color rough sawn texture in the 5-inch face, and you can see the variation that it has from one board to the next, which is really making these porch ceilings pop, and has no maintenance, and you'll never have to paint a porch ceiling again. So keep in mind the tongue and groove can be done in smooth and rough sawn, but here again in the cedar, pretty popular look in that rough sawn texture for the porch ceiling. And here you can see the tongue and groove in our Argos color in a 6 3/4-inch face in the rough sawn texture in a soffit application, tied in with our board and batten in that Argos rough sawn texture as well. Here you can see a bead board pre-finished. There's an architect I work with down in the Richmond, Virginia area. He does a lot of homes on the Chesapeake Bay, and all of his homes have pre-finished porch ceilings. And he offers them with NuCedar and puts them in all of his plans because he knows the homeowners don't want maintenance on these porch ceilings, but they love the rich look that it has. NuCedar has a full clapboard system available in a 4, 6, 8-inch exposure. It floats on a clip. You are required to use our trim components with it, where our other products can be tied in with anyone's trim products, or using other trims than PVC. But with this system, because it floats on the wall and the other products are actually fastened and adhered to the wall, this product will need to utilize the NuCedar trim components. If you have a job that you're looking for the clapboard system, just give myself or one of the other NuCedar reps a call, and we'll handhold you through it. This product is a small percentage of what we're selling these days, and you're looking at about a 4 to 5 week lead time to get it. So it's really, we're redesigning it so that we can blind screw it and have a really unique system that we think we'll have ready by 2021, 2022 at the latest. But in the meantime, if you have someone who's looking for it, you know, get with myself or another NuCedar rep, and we can help you and your customer get through your design challenges with the Clapboard system. We offer pre-finished trim in 3 different textures. As you can see, smooth, embossed wood grain, and rough sawn. It's going to be finished on the face and the edges of the boards, not the back side or the ends of the boards. Whether you're getting one board or you're getting a full job lot, all your drill bits, your screws, your plugs, your fasteners will be included with this system. We have available in 16 and 18 footers for 1x and 5/4 boards. We also can do specialty 5/8 sheets if someone's looking for that, or 5/8 boards. Garden State stocks our whiteboard and smooth. However, if somebody is looking for pre-finished board, you can simply order it through Garden State. We have 16 standard colors, and we do pre-finished sheet goods, 4x8, 4x10 sheets that can come smooth and embossed wood grain, not in that rough sawn texture. We have 16 standard colors. You can see we have some darker colors than we have for just the siding products, and we have no limitation when it comes to a custom colored trim. So if someone's looking for a bronze, a chestnut brown, a black trim, we can do that with a 25-year transferable warranty as a specialty color and a custom color. So same custom color process. You will send Garden State your color code and your color name, and we will order that and produce a sample. Once the sample is signed off on, we can order the product. It's $50 per color for the samples, and we can produce it, you know, roughly about a 4-week lead time for custom colors, 4 to 5 weeks, depending on geography, where you're located, and how long that sign-off process takes. But you have standard, you know, S4S boards in all these different sizes, smooth edged in a 1x or 5/4 board, in all the same standard lengths that you would get from any other PVC manufacturer pre-finished. And again, it's sold with the drill bits, the screws, the plugs, as a complete system. We also have specialty ordered trim. So if someone's looking for that, that specialty, you know, J pocket or J pocket corners, we can offer those. Pre-finished corners, double J pockets, edge and center bead, grade planks. We have the full family of products that can come in all 3 different textures and a wide variety of 16 standard colors and custom colors. We have 21 different molding profiles that also can be pre-finished. They're in stock at Garden State in just raw white, but if someone's looking for them pre-finished to beef up their color trim, we can do that as well. And you're looking, again, about 2 weeks, 10 business days for standard colors for trim from the time that it ships. And you're also looking at about 4 to 5 weeks for custom colors. You also can see, you know, it ties in nicely with other products. 9 of our 14 standard colors will, or 16 standard colors will cross-reference with Hardy Plank colors, with Allura colors. So if someone wants to run traditional cedar, we also have colors that cross-reference with Maybach and SBC white cedar, pre-finished white cedar. So if you want to run our color trim with someone's traditional white cedar, like you're seeing here on Roger Goodell's house, he used traditional cedar, but he used our basket beige trim on his full exterior. You can see it here in custom color black trim, tied in with traditional cedar as well. So if someone's looking for black, chestnut brown, Roycroft, bottle green, any of these custom colors, we can offer those too. And here you can see in another pre-finished trim. And again, in the beadboard edge and center bead for porch ceilings, for soffits, we have the full family of products. So again, NuCedar does the full exterior envelope, a family of products in vertical profile shingles. Here you can see it on the Log Home Living Dream House. This was in Log Home Living magazine for a year. The full exterior envelope of the building is done in NuCedar pre-finished PVCs. So it's got our board and batten and coastal plain, Anderson green trim, also our cedar color in our 18-inch shingles at a 7-inch exposure in the accent in the front, and also a smooth 6-inch quiver tan clapboard. So the full exterior envelope of this building was all done in PVC, and it's just a NuCedars in various different types of applications. And please join us again and take down anyone's contact information to reach out and get a better understanding of these products. We have really good information on our website, janebuildingproducts.com. You can also go to gardenstatelumber.com. They have some fantastic interactive tools there where you can change the color of the home to one of any of our 14 standard colors. It's an excellent representation of our colors online. And if you reach out to Tim, Shane, or myself, we'll all be more than happy to assist you with samples, installed addresses, technical information. We're all one-stop shops for all your NuCedar needs. So please let us know how we can help you. I appreciate everyone's time today, and please come join us again. Thanks.